Samayu from the education system. Today we will discuss how we can upbring our toddlers, how we can incorporate all those abilities which are essential to survive in the modern era. So, in my personal capacity, I would like to guide the parents. I hope that this video will remain very fruitful, lucrative for all those people who are passing through this phase, because most of the parents are worried about the upbringing of their toddlers. In my personal experience, I personally think that we tend to suppress our toddlers in different ways. For example, if any student is interested to take any sort of subject, parents will always try to suppress his inner desire. They will try to impose their own thoughts on their adult, on their toddler, because they always think in the back of their mind that our toddler don't have any experience of life, that's why he is not in a position to take any sort of decision. If we will underestimate the abilities of our toddler, if we will underestimate the abilities of our adults, we would never be in a position to give the confidence to our posterity. That's why it's your honest responsibility that believe in your toddlers. Being a parent, it's your responsibility to nurture them, to provide them food, to provide them all those sort of paraphernalias which is essential for his grooming, which is essential for the growth of your toddler. But it doesn't mean that you suppress your thoughts, you try to impose your thoughts on your toddler, because ultimately you want happiness in the lives of your offspring. How we can bring happiness in the lives of our children? There is only one way. Try to provide them counseling, try to guide them in different dimensions, because you have a little bit more experience, and try to listen your adults, try to listen your offspring, because when you will empathically listen to your toddlers, in this way you will be able to find out the solution of their problems. Not only problems, you would be in a position to provide the counseling to your toddlers, because it's the most important thing that is lacking in our society, that our parents are not providing any sort of counseling. Our teachers are just concentrating on a specific type of knowledge. They are not concentrating in counseling, because counseling is the most important thing that decide our direction, that decide the trajectory of our toddlers. That's why counseling is most important, but unfortunately we are neglecting in our society. So it's a humble request to all those parents who are passing through this phase, that they provide the counseling of their to their offspring. It's essential for their survival, it's important for their growth and career. Because in my personal experience, I have seen thousands of students who were interested in another field, but their parents try to suppress their desires. They impose their own thoughts that it's a right field, it has a scope, you should take this route, you should take that route. Right now they have achieved all the destinations. Actually, they are not satisfied because of their life, because those were the destinations of their parents, those were not the destinations of those adults, those toddlers. That's why right now they are not contented because of their lives, because they have achieved the destination of their parents. That is not actually their destination. That's why if you want to keep your offspring calm, if you want to keep your offspring that they thrive in their lives, then it's most important that you take that decision, you take that profession for your offspring in which they have a little bit proclivity, in which they have a little bit tendency. When it comes to the scope of any sort of degree or scope of any sort of field, in my personal experience, I personally think that there is no any sort of scope of any sort of degrees. You have your own scope. If you hone your skills, if you want to acquire the knowledge in which you are interested, if you are passionate about anything, then definitely you make your own scope. degree don't have any sort of scope, because I have seen thousands of people who have done their degrees in different field, but unfortunately they are not satisfied because of their professions, because they are not contented. That is not their field, that was the field of their parents, because they have decided that field for them, but right now they are not contented. So it's a humble request to all those people who always try to suppress their offspring, who always try to uh, underestimate their toddlers, try to judge them, try to understand their abilities, and try to find out their hidden talent. It's your responsibility to find out his inner talent. If you will reach out to that talent, if you will provide the counseling in that direction, in that field, I am optimistic that they will remain very successful in their professional lives. Not only they would be satisfied and successful in their lives, but also they would have a peace of mind. Ultimately, your objective is to give the peace of mind to your offspring. Uh, in most of the cases, I personally observed that there is a generation gap. If a son is trying to convince his father that it's not the right way for me, I am interested in that field, he do not try to understand his son. On the other hand, son is also restrained. He would never express his feelings because he personally think that it's my filial responsibility to obey my parents' order. That's why he obey his father's dictation. He always try to follow his father's given route, and he spoil his own life. So it's the responsibility of the parents that they don't put their offspring in a difficult area. They don't give them such sort of destination that is not actually their destination. So in this way we can keep our offspring peaceful and calm. That is essential for survival in this era, because most of the people achieve their destinations, but actually those are not their goals, those are not their objectives of life. That's why they are not contented right now. Another thing, try to understand it's a generation gap. Our offspring is surviving in the latest era, and right now we have stereotype, we have conventional sort of thinking. We should realize that there is a generation gap. That's why there is no need to suppress your offspring. There is no need to uh, impose your own thoughts on your toddler, because your toddler is not your library. That is not your laboratory. Treat him just like a human being. He has his own emotions, he has his own feelings. It's your honest responsibility that you focus on his talent, his proclivity, his tendency, then try to provide the counseling about different sort of fields. Then you can guide him, you can convince him that it's a right field, it's a wrong field, but don't neglect his inner proclivity. Don't neglect his inner aptitude. It will remain fruitful not only for you but also for your offspring. Thank you.